Yeah. Bud.
Roll that blunt up, let's smoke some drugs. Roll that blunt up, let's smoke some drugs. Roll that blunt up, let's smoke some drugs. Roll that blunt up, let's smoke some drugs.
Hey, Goddess.
Roll that blunt up,
Peace and love.
roll that blunt up, let's smoke some drugs. Roll that blunt up, let's smoke some drugs.
Can you hear the music?
Yeah, I can.
When I'm geeked up and feeling good, I don't front. Eyes all glossy, pupils all red.
I'm gonna let that play for a minute.
Ask me what the fuck you had. I stay fucked up, stay low all the time.
I know that shit on your side.
Don't be a Bill Clinton. This shit is mid-grade, I ain't fucking with it. I gotta have my shit every single hour. When I choke on it, it gives me power. So how it test me when I'm having fun. Everybody knows I'm packing a gun. I pop it in your head, in your throat. I get cold stupid when I hit on the draw. Crazy, yo, weak, blunt. I can tell when I smell the fire from the bump. Now back in the day, they used to call it Mary Jane. No joint if you mix it with cane. Red Bull, sesame milk, Colombian gold. Started smoking blood when I was 10 years old. Cause when I'm not high, I'm bored as hell. And when I am high, everybody can tell. But I don't give a shit, I'm in my own world, bitch. I could be sweet or a nasty little witch, but I can tell you this, I ain't to be fucked with. I don't give a damn, cause to me, this some punk shit. If you wanna hang and get high, that'll work. But when you try to fuck up my high, I go by girl. I don't know karate, but I know crazy. I stomp down a nigga like it don't faze me. So when you say looking fucked up, eyes red, you don't have to guess, you know what I had.
Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt
Wow.
and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit.
What you got in there? Weed?
One of that shit. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt.
Booty holds my butt for me.
I love that.
Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs.
I knew a fucking fool who thought he was cool. Thought he was slick, a nigga from the old school. Slipped into my ashtray when I wasn't.
I always see him around me.
My doobie, now my shit is stupid.
Always be around me.
Super stupid beater.
There it is.
Wow.
My doobie back. Motherfucking rat. You know,
Like, what's up with you, baby?
Yeah.
You lost your VIP pass, now you get the gap. That's a promise black. You robbed a Big Mac. I bet your ass $100 that I stay strapped. Everybody knows that I'm packing a gun. And when I get high, I know I'm the one to get with, don't mess with me when I'm high. If you think I'm lacking, don't even try to use me, abuse me because I'm fucked up. I get cold stupid when I hit on the bud. Chronic, dope, weed, blunt. I can tell when I smell the fire from the bump. I can tell when I smell the fire from the bump. I can tell when I smell the fire from the bump. I can tell when I smell the fire from the bump.
Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit.
I can tell when I smell the fire from the bump.
Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a fat ass, one of that shit. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs. Roll up a blunt and let's smoke some drugs.
Yeah.
Yep, so I hope you did. Roll it up. Smoke this blunt. Let's get high. Because it's time. I'm going to sit back and let the teacher teach. But you know I'm going to be there asking those questions. That's what I do. The subject matter, I haven't heard anybody else bring this about. And that's why we try to stay on top of things. And Salima's got so many gems in her mind. It's going to be hard for me to get them all out. but I'm gonna do my best. And so, you have the floor, Salima.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. This is Salima. Today's topic is something that is dear, very dear to me, but let me finish my intro. You can find me on Facebook at Salima Ellis. You can always find me at Yahsinni in the House on YouTube. And you can also find me on Instagram on my page. I need to start doing some videos, but I always have some informative information posted up that you can research for yourself and look into. Um, Today's topic is very near and dear to me. Um, it's called organ nutrients versus organic um, food staples. And the reason why this is important because when we talk about us being free as a people, we don't have control over certain things. And one of them is our source of food. That control has been taken away from us, not just through the fact that we go and buy, we've been taught to depend on foreigners for our survival, to feed our very children. This is dangerous. This is dangerous for any society that wants to live, that wants longevity. You cannot have longevity with foreigners controlling your food source, your nutrient source. So I wanted to talk about organ nutrients versus organic human food staples. And you already know I'm going to bust out the Bible and everything. Now, the thing about organ food is that it comes from the Great Mother, and we do not plant organ food. I mentioned this in a previous live the goddess Yahsinni and I were doing, because Yahsinni was asking, why does it seem that we're so much sicker since we've been introduced to these people? And one of the things is that they bought their food staples with them for humans, not for Homo sapiens. Humans eat organic foods, okay? Homo sapiens should eat organ foods. And the reason why is that your organ food has been labeled as an herb.
Mm.
You see, and then you take the herb when you don't feel good after you've been indulging in organic human food staples. See, after you've been eating hamburgers and shakes and you're constipated, what you go do? You go take herbs. When you got a cold, you go take elderberry. You see what I'm saying? So we have this thing where we've been taught that we've been slowly reintroduced into our natural realm, and then we're still being told it's a herb. But no, we've always been taught that food is thy healer, right? If you eat healthy, you will remain healthy. So you know you're not eating healthy, that after you eat, even plant-based people who eat organic food, who still need supplements like vitamin D3 or copper or magnesium or any of these things indigenous, Black, Afro-American people need to supplement the diet, because we have that sad diet. So once you understand that the Great Mother grows the food that you need for you, you don't have to plant it. And the food that she provides us is not depleted. There is no soil depletion when you indulge in organ food. As when you plant food repeatedly, then of organic food, you have what you call soil depletion. And then you got to plant all these cover crops to give it back its nutrients and give it back this and give it back that. Why? Because the human food is poisonous. It has no real nutrients, and it literally sucks the life out of the Great Mother. It literally sucks the life out of the soil. And if you don't believe me, anybody can go Google, look at the Dust Bowls of the 1920s, early 1900s, and when these farmers had to start doing it themselves. See, after they got the land from us through the manipulation of crop sharecropping and liens and measures, they had to start doing it themselves. See, and then and that's when you notice that the Mother Earth was in trouble, because when we were planting and growing the food, there was not that problem. But once they got all the land from us, duped us out of our land, and then they began to grow their food, their organic food staples, all of a sudden we had soil depletion, dust bowls, where the land couldn't hold on to anything. Nothing can grow in the trees. No, the land basically almost turns to sand.
Damn.
You ever notice after you've been growing, if you're a farmer, if you grow in the same spot for a while, your soil becomes sandy, silicone, which is what these beans are, acidic silicone base.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So now we've got this problem of organic food versus organ nutrients. And now we have to relearn the difference between organic food and organ nutrient food and organ nutrients, that vitals that are for us as Homo sapiens. So we're going to go into the Bible for a minute. Goddess, do you got anything you want to add to that before we go to the next part? Because I didn't really have a PowerPoint. I'm just reading from my notes.
Right, and from what we've touched on before about it, I get your concept, and I understand how or why we are like we are now. Because as usual, we're doing everything wrong, and not because we want to, but because we're ignorant to these facts. And once we turn things around, the goal is to get everybody on the same page, especially this kind of stuff. This we need to know. Where has it been? Not in any of my teachings, not in any school I've ever been to. And so but yet it's not really hidden. It's not hidden from us. We just have to once we start searching for truth, things should start coming down the line. We don't have to say what truth we're searching for now. We just gather it up as it comes down the line. It's nonstop, and somewhere in your search or your hunt, things like these beautiful gems start showing up. The ones that make the difference, the ones that where people don't have to wonder why say, my sister asks me sometime, well, if you're so this and you're so that, then how come you're still, this? And then I have to jump and tell her that, hey, because it took them 50 years to indoctrinate me, and now it's going to take some time to get undoctrinated. So little by little, she should be seeing changes every time she see me, but she's not going to notice. She's not going to notice. It's things like this. You have to tell them, like, they have to see you one time and see you healthy and glowing, each time getting stronger, getting wiser. So it's the little stuff like this that we need to start practicing so that we can show that the work we're doing or the knowledge that we're getting and our growth is going to shine. So I
Right.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. I know how hard you work, and I know this is definitely going to be a good one. It's interesting enough already because eventually we're all going to seriously be worried about our food. If you're not already, then you are going to be. And Bill Gates is around, and Monsanto's ain't going nowhere. And so we need alternatives. We need smart alternatives that help us get away from these toxins that they're shooting at us in every direction, from the sky, from the water. I think they don't need to. do any more jabbing because they could just put it in our food supply or our water supply or make us breathe it in. So as long as they're gonna
Yep.
keep attacking us, we're gonna need people like Salima to show us how to reverse some of that shit or get around it. Speak, goddess.
Gratitude, gratitude, always. But yeah, you're right. And then our family members expect us to be divinely indigenous using and living within 3D means. So
Right.
we've been given these different gospels that say, well, if this realm is so wonderful, you should never be broke. But if that's not even where you are, but that's where they're viewing your success from, you're going to have people like that questioning you.
Right.
Because I don't view my success by monetary wealth. I
Exactly.
appreciate the monetary wealth. I do have to still thrive in this realm, but I understand and understand overall that wealth is an abundance of everything,
Yes. And it's
and
mental.
that your yep, and that your mental and physical, emotional, and spiritual health is everything. Otherwise, all this other stuff that they expecting you to have don't mean nothing.
Right. Especially if you're not materialistic anyway.
Right. So I've never been that way. So it bothers people. I've got some gorgeous women friends. I mean, really beautiful, and I make them sick. I make them sick, and this is how I know I make them sick because in their mind, and I've heard them verbally tell me this, which was like a backhanded compliment, but they would tell me like, "Girl, if I look like you, like if I had a body like yours, like I would never be broke." And it's almost like if you're a woman, if you look a certain way, and if you can acquire certain things by your look, you're supposed to do that. You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to take that easy road. We don't believe in being chaste anymore. We don't believe in being virtuous anymore. We don't believe in abstaining anymore. Those things aren't seen as superpowers within our community.
Correct.
You see, and those are the first superpowers that we have to gain before we can gain all this other stuff that we want, because you have to have self-discipline. And self-discipline are those things I previously mentioned, which
Mm-hmm.
is abstinence. You see, um, you have to be vigilant, and it's not easy to be vigilant because you're going to fall off. You're going to fall off as many times as you fucking have to stay on.
Mm-hmm.
To keep you okay. So in a minute, I'm about to go into this Bible and separate the Homo sapien from the human,
Mm.
because I've heard a lot that ministers, and I've heard ministers say that Genesis, the first one, is just the blueprint. No, it ain't. It
Mm.
is exactly what it says it is. So if you go into your Bible and you read Genesis 1:29, it says, and God said, I give you every seed bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food, and all the beasts of the earth, and all of the birds of the air, and all of the creatures that move on the ground. Everything that has a breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so.
Mm.
So now that's Genesis 29, and that's him telling us about our food. But when you go to Genesis 1:11, and then God said, let the land produce vegetation. God said, what? Let the land produce. Humans till the soil. Homo sapiens do not. Okay? So Genesis
That's it.
11. I mean Genesis. I'm sorry, Genesis 1:11. What were you going to say, Goddess?
No, I was
Okay,
just
you found
looking.
it?
I'm good.
Okay. So I want to read it again.
Yeah.
And then God said, let the land, that means the great mother is going to produce the vegetation on her own without our aid. Why? Because we are the cause of it. We are causality. When we came into being, they created the Garden of Eden. Why would you have to toil in the Garden of Eden? You don't. It is written
Mm.
here, right here, Genesis 1:11. And the land produced the vegetation. Now, the difference between organic human food staples and organ nutrients, what is produced? What does the great mother produce? I'm just going to read a few of them that she
Mm-hmm.
produces without human aid. Carrots, clover, red clover, dandelion, horsetail, plantain, the psyllium that comes with the plantain, burdock, mulberries, comfrey, wintergreen, grapes. Ain't none of that shit got to be planted by human hands.
Mm. Damn.
That comes up every fucking where. I got comfrey right now in my yard. I didn't plant it. I got burdock in my yard. I got everything in my yard I just mentioned. I did not plant it. And this is why they were making us try to favor manicured lawns over natural mass uh, lawns. Because
Right.
now then they had us doing the whatchamacallit weed killer roundup to all of these food or to all of these nutrients, organ nutrients that we need. You see what
Mm.
I'm saying? This is
Right.
in your Bible. And that's why I tell people don't get rid of this Bible. It is the truth. But the preacher was there to give you the lie. That's why they always
Right.
said the devil is in the pulpit. I ain't in no pulpit.
Mm.
I'm the matriarch. I'm at home. I'm homeschooling. Let's do this.
Wow.
So let's go to Genesis 2 and let's really separate the man, human, from the Homo sapien. Okay? So in your Bible, in Genesis 2:15 through 17, let me see. The Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you do eat of it, you will surely die. So we started dying. Remember, I said we were perpetual.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this God isn't. You see that this is divisiveness in the Bible.
Mm.
We started dying when we eat food staples. They shit.
Okay.
Because look at the longevity at the ages of the Bible. How you having a midlife crisis at 50? And you're supposed to live way longer than 50. As a matter of fact, you're really just a teenager at 50. You don't really become a full adult until about 100, 115, which means everything that you think you're doing in your 20s, you should still be doing well into 100, 115.
Mm.
But because we're eating poisonous food staples that were made for a foreign workforce that's not from our realm.
Mm.
Okay. What else was there? 2:19. Um, Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the beasts of the field and all of the birds of the air. Wait a
Okay.
minute. But it's always long dragging out. But anyway, Adam and Eve were supposed to toil the land.
Right. So this is not the Homo sapiens anymore.
No, this is the human.
Right.
Yep, this is the human. And he put the man, yeah, he put him in the Garden of Eden to toil the land.
Which Bible version are you reading out of?
I don't even know. It's some old crazy fandangle. It ain't
Okay.
even the King James version.
Okay. So if they can see it, this is the KJV that I'm pulling up. But they're
Okay,
saying the
thank
same
you.
thing, just different words.
Yeah, but it says this like you said, this language is more up to date. The KJV is the wording is
Right.
more original.
Right.
So that is the difference between Adam and Eve had to plant their food.
Mm-hmm.
Humans plant their food. We don't have to plant our food. We've been seduced away from our vital nutrients. We've been told it's weeds and to kill it because it make your lawn look fucked up. No, we killing ourselves slowly.
And if we were to do that, we wouldn't need to eat as much. You know
Nope,
how
you
we
will
can
find your density.
snack all day right now. We can
You will
eat
find
or
your
snack.
density change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you always feel heavy. Some people feel heavy, but when you eat organ food, you always feel light. And after a while, you find yourself eating less and less. Like I find 2 days is the longest I can go without any food.
And that would definitely be one of their control mechanisms um, unavailable to them if we started doing that. So that would be a good help for us to get back on track by denying them the weaponry of putting stuff in our food.
Facts.
All
That's what
you,
all those zombie apocalypse movies is about.
yeah,
Because the
and
people
so
don't know how to find the natural sources. They addicted to these chemicals these people always create, this alchemy.
right, right. So we do sort of have a blueprint for living our best, but we just don't know how to read it, obviously, or the little procedure that it takes to make sure we're better off just by using these herbs. Because one, we're going to be more healthy. Um, they're not going to be able to put a commercial with some potato chips and shit like that on there, and then we just run and eat it. They're putting a lot of stuff in our food that makes us hungry, not specifically for any one thing, but just the worst shit with sugar in it,
Hmm.
soda.
And all of a sudden,
Yeah,
you got cravings for shit that don't even grow. It's always cravings for shit that they create. I got a craving for ice cream. I got a craving for pickles. I got a craving for chocolate. I got a craving for something that they create.
yeah.
Um, so the next part is our
So wait,
organic seed.
can we?
Go ahead,
Can I
guys.
ask a question about that list that you named? Do
Yes,
those
ma'am.
herbs grow like all over?
Yes, you can walk down the street. Most empty lots in the city of Detroit have most of these growing in them and more. Black walnut, which is good for us. It's a good healer. It's a good astringent. It helps
Does
clean out the gut biome.
does anything repel the damaged soil that they've been having dropped from the sky, like the aluminum and barium and the Roundup and all kinds of stuff that's in the soil. I'm saying, do any of these herbs um, fight that off, or what are we doing? Can we just go outside and eat a dandelion?
Yes, you can.
Sure.
Rinse it off and eat it.
Mm.
Literally. That's the honest truth. That's the best thing I could tell you.
Right. So the plant itself is not rooted in Monsanto's Roundup or any of that stuff when it comes up, or
That stuff is all over the planet. You got to think, when you're in a city, how many times has the city been torn down and rebuilt? How old are some of those houses? How many of those houses have been replaced? How many of those empty lots are those plants sitting on? Do you know Detroit is touted as the third largest rainforest in the world? Detroit
really?
is touted as the third largest rain because they knocked down all the fucking houses. They got rid of everything. Everything is filled up with trees and lots and plants. And most of it is what? Organ,
Damn.
nutrient, matter. Anybody can
So
look
there
that
ain't
up, go
even
Google it.
for us, there ain't even no such thing as starvation unless we afflict it upon
Unless,
ourselves.
yeah, our ignorance of how to use our realm and what is here for us is the only thing that keeps us in affliction, and our need to use the realm within the 3D
Mm-hmm.
the 3D matrix we've been given. We've got to get out of that. We're going to become indigenous with the luxury, comfort, and convenience of the 3D matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we've been stuck on getting let us free, because we want that luxury, comfort, and convenience.
Mm. Right. Wow.
So yeah. Um
So when say like if we eat a dandelion out the yard, we're not eating the yellow part or even that white fluff part. We're eating this like the leaf.
yeah, the leaf is for salads and tea. The dandelion head is for tea. You dry
What
out the
about the stem?
dandelion head.
What
What
about
about what?
the stem?
Well, we usually don't mess with it. We usually just use the leaves in the head.
Okay.
Because you can stir fry the leaves. And you can put them in salads just like the plantain. I haven't never cooked my plantain though.
Say the yellow petals.
No, the leaves of the dandelion. And stir fry
Okay.
them like I would spinach or Swiss chard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all we need is an app on our phone that shows us what whether it's a herb or a weed or whatever
They
plant.
got those apps too. Yep, they got
Yeah.
apps. If you Google them, it'll have like a WhatsApp for herbs and stuff like that. But I have my own course and everything already laid out
Mm-hmm.
from my previous classes and my continued work and studying this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
I'm definitely
So
interested in that now.
right, it gets
Yeah.
deeper. Herbalism is deeper than what people think. So this next part is, our organic seeds safe to plant in our world realm, because chemicals are always created to protect organic seeds from the natural realm, which means anybody who's a farmer knows that when you plant seeds, here comes our stuff out to choke it out. And they'll
Mm-hmm.
say the weeds is killing my crop. The weeds is killing my farm. No, the great mother's organ food for us is saying this shit got to go. It's been showing us all the time we shouldn't be planting it. But because we become desensitized to what real organ nutrients are for our people, we don't understand that that's the great mother fighting off their disease seeds. They're depleting a food staple. It's depletion. And their seed is what you say, from the sweat of your brow. Now, I did write down the pros and cons of organic human food staples and organ. So when you're dealing with organic food staples, there's the threat of hunger. Why? Because it's already been commercialized and consumerized, and those who own it will weaponize it to make sure that they stay in power and that you will be as hungry as they need you to be to do what they need you to do. So that's why organic food staples are dangerous for us. For the last 100 years that they've had control over agriculture, we've been a slave to their demands. Our bellies follow their agricultural demands. Uh, it requires the removal of organ nutrients for the planting of organic food staples. Food staples make hundreds of thousands of tons of food waste yearly. Yearly on our realm, yearly, not organic foods. Or our organ foods, not only does she grow them out, they go right back into the earth. We don't throw that in the food dump. When we don't get it from the vines, it goes right back to the earth to the next season for it to come up, and it's right there next season for us to eat. The grapes, the apples, the mulberries. We got wintergreen trees, which is part of the pine family here in Michigan. So you can always have wintergreen. You see, so we really don't understand our realm and that we are causality. When I say this realm was created because we were coming into fruition, I really mean that shit. This great mother is doing stuff for us despite our ignorance because she's our mother. Okay? So we gonna keep it going on. We already talked about organic food leads to soil depletion. And humans create unnatural weather systems and pattern of code to grow and maintain production of these fucking foods. Where the great mother just brings it up. She has her seasons. She has her time. So they need the cold also. Not only do they need cold refrigeration, they have to change our atmosphere to grow this stuff. There's something wrong with that knowledge. Just that alone, that's dangerous.
Right.
Yep. That is dangerous. So we don't have to toil by the sweat of our brow. Yep. We eat good when we follow natural law. Organ food is natural law. Organic food is man-made law. Man-made capitalism. Business.
So they're the ones that need. They're the ones who need food to eat.
Yes.
We live off the organs of the earth, but they actually need shit because, well, they're hybrid. For one.
Yes. And when you're dealing with hybrid people, they need hybrid food because they're trying to feed many different entities, many different types of genotypes within that cellular structure that they've created for themselves.
Yep.
So we're going to go back into the Homo sapien and the human man food. Our organ nutrients are being introduced to us as herbs and not organ nutrients. They really are getting us to turn part of our most precious trust. Your trust is your inheritance into capitalistic gains, turning it into business The herbs of this realm are not outside of you. They are you. I'm going to
Wow.
say that again because our perception is fucked up and we've been given a visual literacy by these foreigners to see the realm the way they want us to see it and utilize it the way they want us to use it for their
Mm-hmm.
benefit. This is to your benefit. The herbs of this realm are not outside of you. They
Mm.
are you. When we talk about binary stars being born, we say for every star being born, it has a sister or a brother, right?
Right.
You're a celestial being that was born. The binary star made sure you had what you needed. Your complement in this realm for your nutrient intake are the organ foods. So at
Mm.
the same time, we were manifested, this binary star that we call the Mother Earth was manifested too. This is our
Right.
brother, sister, mother, father.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, guys. Could you give me a second?
Yes.
So yeah, I just want to make that clear. You are a celestial being, and you every time you are born, everything that you need is born into fruition with you, for you, because of you, and all about you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't understand that. We don't
We don't.
understand how to use our realm anymore. That this stuff is here, but we are addicted to their drugs. The drugs have made us turn away from the natural.
So when I was young in my 20s, and I had tapped into um, this newspaper called Mind Power News, and then as the internet come up, I would always be reading these articles and Mind Power News, and they would always be saying things like, "You are the center of your universe," and then in the article, it would be explaining how you the center. Well, then that means that your universe does revolve around you. And then you hear these
Yes,
outsiders who will tell you, like, if you say that in front of them, like, I'm the center of my universe,
they'll tear you
you'll be
down.
called conceited, you'll be called all kinds of names, labeled crazy, you're conceited, you're narcissist, you're this and you're that. And but then I'm reading these articles that tell me different, and knowing that they don't understand how we are even the center of our universe. And even today, when I'm in conversation with one of them people, um, I'll just be talking regular language, and they'll be like, "This ain't about you," and I'm thinking everything in my life is about me and should be. So they really don't get it. They don't get it. How they're the center of the universe, how they are the earth, you are the source, you are, like you said, first cause. We should be more into ourselves, and then we would think more highly of ourselves, and we would stop fucking ourselves up like we've been doing. Like, I can't believe that a conscious community had to come out before we could figure out that eating a lot of this crap is bad for us and have damaging effects to our body, our physical person. And still, we're gonna go to a funeral this weekend, and the person who died is gonna have died from diabetes or one of the regular heart disease, or all of this come from something that they put into their body. They made themselves like that. They finally got out of here by doing it so much they died. And then at that funeral, they're gonna feed you the same shit that made them sick. Nobody's gonna notice. They're gonna have a feast. The whole thing is gonna be centered around food. Everybody's waiting for them to get done with this, get done with that, so we can go eat. And they're gonna eat the richest poisonous foods that there are to us.
Yep.
Not one person is gonna think about eating fruit while they're there. I mean, they might
Right.
have the fruit there, but I bet you're gonna be piling up on the potato salad,
Well,
the beans,
well,
and
I could say my sister's funeral was a half and half because she knew, like a lot of people like me, half of the
Mhm.
menu was vegan or plant based. So I was pretty happy at her funeral at the repast,
Right.
but that was because we really love each other and there's a large enough community in my family where they don't eat certain things. They just don't.
Mhm.
You know, they might still be religious and stuff, but a lot of my people, they ain't gonna eat no pork. They ain't gonna, some of them don't touch no beef, ain't gonna eat no pop. That's just how we
Right.
came up. That kind of stuff, pop was like a treat. You don't walk around with a liter of pop every day, like you see these babies doing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, her repast was pretty nutritious. And I found myself having to fight the meat eaters off of the vegan food. Like,
Oh,
nah,
yeah.
y'all got y'all. What we supposed to eat as the vegans after y'all eat it now gone? We gonna try that. That look good. I bet it do. I bet it do.
Right.
Meat eaters will trounce vegan food like nobody's business. I done seen it
Yeah.
too much. I
Yeah.
done seen it too much. They do it every chance they get. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're just so addicted. Like you said, we're addicted. It tastes so good.
Right.
It smells so good, goddess. But like you said, we hold a celebration of it. So we talked about what are the health benefits of organ food. We know we're
Mm-hmm.
going to live longer. We're going to stay more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
What are the drawbacks of organ food? Nothing. The
Damn. No
only
fun.
drawback, the only drawback is that when it gets cold, it's not here anymore. We have to wait
Oh,
for the
yeah.
seasons to change.
Or can
That's
we
the
stock up?
drawback.
Can we stock
We
up?
can't stock up. You can jar it, prune it, pickle it, whatever you want to do, dry it. You can get it together for over the winter time, and then you have your legumes and peas to help stretch that out. You see
Mm.
what I mean? But we
Right.
could make it happen, but we don't even understand what real nutritional value for us because we've been eating human food, fucking organic food staples for fucking decades, centuries now, since they got here.
And
What are the health benefits? Oh, I'm sorry, goddess, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, and some of us are cannibals and don't know it. So because
I
that's
was
what
for a while and I didn't know
right, like some of the
because
Chinese food.
I was eating and I was eating raw meat too for a while, like raw bacon, raw.
Oh,
It came up on me like when I was pregnant.
damn.
I felt like a damn invader from V or some shit. Like, why am I craving this disgusting shit while I'm pregnant? And you'll see that pregnant women, especially in this country, especially indigenous women, we have a tendency to eat things we're not supposed to eat because we're missing something and we don't know what it is. I've had pregnant girlfriends, and this is not I seen, I heard, I'm telling you, she ate toilet paper. Yep.
What?
I was eating ash. I had
Oh,
friend that was eating ash from the fires,
oh my
pregnant,
god.
pregnant. Our bodies are missing something, but we didn't know what it was. And when you're pregnant, you have all these cravings, and you'll call out these cravings that you think it is, but sometimes the shit is still missing. I've had friends that ate the lead out of pencils, like they just like the crunch, literally.
Uh,
I've had friends that ate Ajax and Comet.
You would think that shit would be instant death or
They can live
instant
through.
fucked up something.
I know, but because of the bad motherfuckers we do die from it eventually because we're not eating organ food. We're eating poisons now. But our
Mm.
ignorance doesn't know which way to go. See, and we think, and I've heard people say so many times, why is my dog or cat out in my yard eating my grass? No, they out there eating the fucking organ food you won't give them. You keep going to the damn supermarket buying them dog food and cat food, giving them the shits and the runs. They ain't got no choice but to go out in the yard after a while and ignore your ass and eat the fucking organ food. They know what they doing. They're not
Damn.
just eating the grass, they eating the organ food. The red clover, you see what I'm saying? The plantain, everything, the burdock, everything that's in the yard, we refuse to pick up because we've been taught it's a weed. It's ugly. It's messing up the beauty, the manicure of the realm. The realm not supposed to be manicured like that. If you
And
manicure the
meanwhile,
realm, you destroy it.
it was me who was at work laughing at these Asians because they went out and picked their lunch. They would be out
What?
on
Right.
break and they would be like looking at, they would be gathering up these weeds and we would be standing over
Hmm.
there pointing, laughing at them, like, watch, they're gonna go eat that. And they do. They go in there, they warm that
And
up, and then
healthier than
they
us.
give them a soup.
Healthier than
They have
us.
this, they have this big ass bowl of rice to go with it, and then the juice that's in there will always be green. And like, look at these motherfuckers.
Like a
But
miso. It's probably like miso soup because I drink miso soup. It's really salty.
uh,
So
damn.
yeah, those are the things you need. Miso soup helps counteract hyperthyroidism too, with along with
Mm,
kelp.
wow.
So that's what I started taking when I realized my thyroid was acting up. Kelp and miso, and it helped get it back under control because that's what forced the heart attack. Your thyroid controls your digestive. It controls your heart rate. It controls so much about your body we don't understand. It controls your temperature, also the temperature of your body. It helps to maintain your temperature. So when my thyroid was really acting up, say like I couldn't digest anything, I just had straight diarrhea. And
Mm,
instead of asking me what's wrong, people just thought I was like smoking crack. Like you got to be smoking crack, and I'm like, no, I'm malnutrition. I'm not getting my nutrients because my thyroid is overactive. It won't even allow me to digest the food. So I can take in the nutrients I need to maintain a healthy weight, maintain a healthy skin, you know, all the things that I need to be healthy. So the thyroid, when it's overactive or underactive, these are the problems that you face. So that's what originally made me take herbalism. I wanted to live and I didn't appreciate the drugs I was on. And I mean, I was on a ton of drugs, Coumadin, Lopressa, and Metoprolol. I mean, this PTU, something to control the thyroid, something to control my heart rate, something to control my blood. It was just endless. And I felt worse on the medications than I
mm,
did with just the diagnosis of the disease. So
right.
this is what led me into this realm that I'm in now.
Mm,
So what I was stating before is that what are the health benefits of the organic food? It's something here and now. The best health benefits of the organic food staples is if you eat the raw fruit and vegetables. Try to
mm-hmm,
stay away from their refined foods. Okay. So the worst refined foods that they love to the creation of harmful refined foods like sugar substitutes, synthetic foods, imitation shrimp, imitation crab legs, rice syrup, French fries, you name it. You can pretty much
mm-hmm,
donuts, chips, anything. That's all refined food, and it all comes from organic food staples. Now, the
mm-hmm,
problem with refined food also is that the alchemy that they use to turn it into that from the organic food staple, which
mm-hmm.
means they use acid. They used to love acid. They love to use acids in our foods, mononuclear acids and things like that. We got to be careful of that. So those acids are to break down the organic foods to turn them into this refined crap that we love, Doritos, Cheetos, and all that other nonsense. Another thing is that the organic foods are dangerous because they are grown with herbicides. Like I said, the great mother, once we plant the organic food staples, the great mother's food source comes out. We call it weeds. And then we start using herbicides and pesticides on it. We use pesticides for the bees and the beetles and all the other things that have a right to the food also. That's another thing about organic food staples. Because it's meant for profit and not really to make sure that no one is hungry, you use pesticides and herbicides on it to prevent the other natural beings of the realms from enjoying it too, like the deer. You see what I'm saying? Like the flies, like the ants. Pesticides kill all of these beings, the butterflies, the dragonflies. And then you wonder where all these fucking creatures went. The birds. You see what I'm saying? Stick bugs. Pick something. Anything that goes to eat those crops without understanding that they've already been poisoned against them. The deer. All these other beings of the realm that enjoy and have a right to this food. Now see, notice when the great mother food come up, do we chase them away? Do we say they can't have that? No, because we don't sell it. We don't try to live off of it. We don't try to hoard it and tell other beings they don't have a right to it. We can't do that. Why? Because the great mother produced it, which is why we have to be careful when we're fucking around with these beings, because under herbalism, they're going to try to get us to turn our trust, our organ, nutrient, valuable trust into what? A commodity to be made money off of. So now we're going to have herbalists who are supposed to be teaching and healing, storing herbs, turning them into a commodity, hoarding them. And then when they haven't sold at the date prescribed, what's going to happen? They're going to get thrown away. That is not what the great mother intended for. But the white, well, I'm not going to say white people. The system had to make sure they introduced us, our own food source, back into us as herbalism, so that they could find a way to cash cow in on it. And all the herbalists don't understand, when you open up a herbalist store, when you have all this supply and demand, you're following the beast. Because you remember, you asked me, and I said, Curtis Conti, a few people from the community say, hey, shoot me something. I said, hell no, I don't do that. I don't even know what's wrong with you. I don't have product sitting. I'm not going to, everybody is individually different. It might be a great product for one person, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a great product for the next person. So now I have product sitting because what? I overestimated that it was going to work for everybody, like a fucking doctor. When they make these fucking pills and prescriptions and shit, it's for everybody across the board, right? There is no individual or individuality of the tweak to suit each person, say per their weight. They'll tell you to take a dose of the same medication. You take more than me, you weigh more than me. I take less than you, I weigh less than you. That's it. Not, okay, this medication is made with 3 different other medications. So because of her weight and she's diabetic and they have this, we're not going to give it to them just like this. We're going to do it like this. They can't do it. It's already been manufactured across the board for everybody to take it. You see, so that's the difference between being an herbalist, a true herbalist, and being someone who just has a ton of product, following what doctors do, getting inventory, selling based on supply and demand, making your skills unavailable and only available so that you can make money.
Right.
So now you're going to turn the gift of our trust that the great mother gives us through her organ nutrient, love, into a commercial, into profit. And that's the thing about indigenous. Are we really trying to get away from the system, or are we only trying to replicate the system but with our own stuff? And that's not going to work, because we'll still be the purveyors of our own destruction if that's the case.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
and we don't want that. Give me some sugar, baby. Mama, love you. I Yeah, I'm gonna put her out today because I want to keep going. Give me some. I'm
I
hungry.
see you right on time too with your delivery. For what you
Okay.
wanted for the five. That shit was packed with information right there, and it's definitely
Okay.
something to go look over again and study, and especially when you listed the organs that's right in our yard. Okay, they have us cutting them down
Mm-hmm.
for them so they don't come back, digging it up and everything. When really, that's our gift, and it's hidden. It's not even hidden. If it is, it's hidden in plain sight, right in
Hmm.
our fucking yard.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm definitely gonna do some further studies on it, and because we don't know, but when we do know, then we should grow, and then we should
Right.
show.
So that's right. So anybody that want more information, you can find me at Salima Ellis. I'm sorry, Salima's Knowledge at gmail.com. SALIMAS Knowledge, KNOWLEDGE at gmail.com. And hit
Yeah,
me up. Anybody, because the goddess can tell you, she already know I am one of her guides to healing. And she
exactly.
knows I'm not going to put nothing in front of her. And I always tell you what, look it up too. I
Yep.
told her what books to get so she can study it for herself. And she asked
Mhm.
me honest questions. She can agree with me or don't disagree, because it's her body. It's her path to healing.
Right.
And
And
I'm just her facilitator.
and you got to be able to trust the person that you're taking advice from or seeking advice from as a healer, because I know, because I went and I ask questions wherever I go, but I asked another herbalist the same questions I asked Salima, and I got the adverse of it, which is not good. You don't know my history. You didn't ask about it. You don't know you didn't even ask if I was on a medication, and you're just telling me to do things. Like, that's what the doctor does. I went in the doctor's office and I told him I had anxiety, and so he just wrote me a prescription for some anxiety pills. I came back later. I
Easy
said,
peasy.
I don't think it was anxiety. I think it was and then whatever I say, boom, here you go, another prescription. He's not taking any, he's not taking any vitals. He isn't doing any tests. I can just say, hey, I'm this, and boom, it's automatically a prescription for it. Instead of what I want is the real questions and to break down what exactly am I going through so I can heal that. I don't want to just take medicine. I want to take the medicine that's going to help me. Okay. And so I discovered the difference between Salima being genuine and others out there who will just want the money, turn it into a commodity, and turn me into a customer. No, she was more involved in getting me healed the right way, whether it's the long way or not. We have to test some things. We have to see how you felt afterwards, and check some other stuff, dig some more into the history, get your aha moment out of it, and start healing. And so I'm sure you'll find the same thing when you call her with questions about anything. She's true, she's genuine, and tried and tested definitely by me, and I definitely recommend it. And so, and you
Gratitude,
can contact
gratitude.
her in the way you can contact her the way that she just told you, or you can always go to Yahsinni University and contact her.
Mhm. DM
So
me on my
that was
Facebook.
yes,
You like that,
that was
goddess?
yeah, that was full. I'm full. That's what you call food for
Okay.
thought. I'm
Okay.
absolutely
So
full.
that's what I wanted to do. We've been doing political and all that other stuff. I figured let's start throwing in
Yeah,
some of the other aspects of the teachings so that our people, because
absolutely
we have so much to give and to teach.
right. And that's why the last couple of days I've been looking at biology, cellular biology, or microbiology, because we need to know more things. That's all it is. We need to know more. If we
Okay.
perish
Yes, we
because
do.
of our lack of knowledge, then why don't we get some more knowledge then? And that's what I'm here for. That's
All
it.
day.
Salima,
All day. Y'all
Salima
gonna give
got
me
a
another
whole
one of
head
them.
full of, I said Salima got a whole head full of gems. I'm right
I love
here.
it.
That's why I like to hang out. That's why I like to hang out at the people with the gems. Okay.
We ain't got nothing better to do. And this is what I was saying. This ain't just us up here. We ain't YouTube prophets. We out here
Right.
living this. We out here living this.
Absolutely.
Anybody
Absolutely.
want to know if I'm living what I'm talking? Go to my Facebook page. I post a lot of stuff I'm doing, and a lot of times I got to go lay myself down somewhere. Like yesterday, guys, I wanted to go on, right? And
Right.
I set my alarm. I was done. I didn't wake up till like 8 o'clock that night or something.
Right.
And my daughter was like, "Mama, you've been on the farm for 2 days." We were laying down drip lines, putting up fences, trying to get crowd. We was working. We was trying to get it done for the elder. She feeds the community,
Wow.
so we was lending our, volunteer time. So
Mm.
that's what I do. And doing that, if I hadn't went into farming, I don't think I would have, and herbalism, I don't think I would understand the great mother as much as I do in my relationship to her and the gift
Mm.
that she is to us and that she really is here for us. We've just been so blindsided by these beings that it was like
Yeah.
once I started living more naturally, more towards nature,
Mm-hmm.
you could say the silver bells fell out of my eyes, and then I could see
Mm.
the natural realm. I could see natural law.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the
Wow.
best way I could explain it.
It's phenomenal. It really is.
So yeah, it wasn't gonna be that long. That was pretty much the
No,
whole.
it was short
Oh,
but sweet and packed.
I did find the verse in the Bible. It was 2:15.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hate it
Genesis.
when I don't get to finishes. Yes, it was 2:15. I just don't see that good. I should have had my magnifying glass or my cheaters, and I didn't have either one, and I just found it after I um talked to you. Let me
You want
see.
me to read it or what?
I got it. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So humans
Oh,
were put in the Garden of Eden to work it. They had their own separate food from us. They had a whole separate food staple. And that's Genesis 2:15. The Lord God took the man, the human, and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it.
mm-hmm.
Okay? And ours is different.
Wow.
See, in
And
Genesis 1:11 or 1:12, the land produced. Okay? And God said, let 1:11, then God said, let the land produce vegetation. There is a difference between us and humans all
Mm-hmm.
day long. And I'm going to keep banging y'all on your head, and I'm going to keep showing you the proof. I ain't no pastor. I'm trying to make my generations come. My wealth ain't in behind the pulpit. My wealth is the trust that they trying to get us to get rid of, to hand over to these beings. And I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep showing you what your true wealth is, what your trust is.
Mm.
There is a difference. We are not humans. We are Homo sapiens. Everybody go to your fucking Webster's Dictionary, 1972, 1973. Look up human. They fucking fossil people. They don't know shit unless they dig up something dead to kill it. Homo sapiens are wise. Are the wise men of the realm. I just gave you wisdom that you should already know, but we don't know because it's been circumvented from us. That's it. There is a difference. I'm not human. And that's why I said there ain't no such thing as a homosexual, because they trying to attach that sick shit to the Homo sapien. Like that's us. No. They are human sexuals. We are not homosexuals. That's them.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
To my homosexuality. I'm a Homo sapien. That's impossible.
Wow.
Homosexuality is the act of sexuality between Homo sapien men and women. Come on, people. Let's start reading with understanding. Quit accepting these labels that they give us. It's impossible for two men to be homosexuals.
Wow. Yeah. Uh,
Which one you looking up first, Goddess?
I put human up there. What's it? Human. They don't want to give it to me.
I'm telling you, I told you, look, this man here in Michigan, Rock Financial, they OCP, they own Detroit. It's called the Detroit Land Bank. He bought the dictionary.com. A lot of these portals, they own them now.
Right.
Yep, they changing it. They changing it to cover up the crimes they've been committing against us. I heard that.
Human. They only just saying that it's distinguished from an animal. When I
Right.
put Webster's 1973.
Yep. Okay, check this out. I'm about to read this to you out my dictionary.
Okay.
Human. Latin. Oh, human. Adjective, Middle English, humane. Humane. Humanist. Remember I said they were the humane society?
Mm-hmm.
Characteristics. Homo man. More at homage. Humans pay homage to Homo sapiens. Be aware of relating to or characteristics of man, consisting of men, having human attributes, having a human form or attributes, susceptible to or representative of the sympathies and frailties of man's nature, such as an inconsistency is very human. So check this out. The next word I'm gonna go to in the dictionary, page 556, Webster's Dictionary, human engineering. One, noun, management of human beings and affairs. Industry, science that deals with the design and mechanical device for the efficient use by human beings. Man, this is wild.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like there's no telling what all they're doing to this world right now. Like, you know, like
Right,
whether it's reset or they're ushering in the new paradigm or the new matrix, and we don't know what the fuck they're gonna be done. But
oh,
I'll
I
tell
know it. I
you,
already know.
yeah, well, we have an idea because all we gotta do is look at their past. They're only fixated on one thing, and that's get rid of us or making it hard as hell for us. They know they can't get rid of us, so we'd have been gone by now. But shit,
Right.
everything they do is something to get rid of us or to make it hard for us or to keep us from getting our power, our true powers, to keep us from knowing
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. Literally, like knowing ourselves. They don't want us knowing how our bodies work because then we can combat some of their bullshit.
Oh man, could we?
Yes,
They wouldn't see us
absolutely.
in a doctor's office. They wouldn't see us. We wouldn't be up under their scalpels no more.
Yeah, absolutely. No more birth certificates. Do that shit with a midwife. Record
Yep.
their own documents. Like they don't have to know who you are or your kids are. They can go. They can mind their own fucking business. Really.
Okay,
They are
so this is
so.
the term for sapiens. I'm still in Webster's Dictionary. Sapiens, Sapiens,
Right.
Northern Latin, specific epithet of Homo sapiens, Latin, of or relating to or being recent man, Homo sapiens, as distinguished from various fossil men. So what's a
Mm-hmm.
fossil man? I only know aren't they called archaeologists?
Oh yeah.
Archaeologists dig up fossils, right?
Digging.
So what species are archaeologists? Ain't they humans? Okay, this
No.
is sapient. Uh sapiens, Latin, saper, to taste, be wise, possessing or expressing great sagacity or discernment. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
human. I'm a sapient. I can discern the realm if given enough time and not fucked with or indoctrinated.
Right.
And if I wasn't a Homo sapient, would I be able to have come back to this part of myself? Because humans go all the way out. They die and go through reincarnation, right?
Yep.
Fuck that. I'm not a human. I don't want reincarnation. I'm a Homo sapien. I want my 500 fucking years. Healthy body, healthy pussy, healthy mind, healthy soul.
Damn.
Going to and from the realm as I want. Because now I
Yep.
can use my realm as I want to because they not interfering with me. They
Right.
not interfering with us. So yeah, that I didn't want to make the live too long today. I just wanted to give that really touched me when we had did the Drunk with Blood and the Amalekites, the
Mm-hmm.
Amalek. And when you did that, it really made me realize, you know what, I've been sitting on that curriculum and I hadn't shared it with anybody except my homeschoolers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a freebie for our students who are
Right.
listening, paying attention, who gonna watch this. You want more information? Cash App me, Cash App signs, capital Salima, capital Ellis.
There you have it.
Hit me up on my
There you-
Facebook page. That's right. And you can go to my Gmail because I got it. I got it.
Okay.
And I will send you to anybody else who I think is close to the truth, as close as to somebody that's not going to just use you and abuse your pockets that's really trying to heal you.
Right.
Right. Because like I said, when people look at me and they be like, how are you a herbalist, but you don't got inventory? Why would I have inventory? If I'm a true healer, how can I have a product for somebody that come to me sick and I don't even know what they sick about? That don't make sense. With the
Right.
Great Mother, I have the ability to make a cure for you on site, out of my yard.
Damn.
And I'm growing my medicinal Mary Jane is so beautiful. Woo!
I had got
Don't
to
play
give
with
me
me. Don't play with me.
damn.
And I know how to feed my plants. I ain't using this fucking plant food from Home Depot and Lowe's and all that other shit. No, baby, I got that.
Is that by pickup only?
The plant food, yeah, yep. I can't
Yeah.
even mail it. They won't even let me mail that. They tried to say it was an unknown substance, and I'm sure it was to them. Them motherfuckers, I'm sure it was to them. But it was nothing harmful. I don't practice alchemy.
Right.
Right. I don't practice. I'm not never sending nobody nothing dangerous to nothing. So that was just them tripping on the fact that they couldn't understand what I was saying, or they just didn't want to. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was glad I got to speak on Sister Bessie last night too with you about the Southern cooking. I did enjoy that part very much. Why there's that big difference between the North and the South, and they did that to us on purpose. But we can get it together. We can get it together. But Sister Bessie was right on with that. There is a big difference between the North and the South, and it's almost like that shit with colorism that they use with us. You know.
Right.
But we like she said, we're gonna get that together. Get that home. Look, I saw people in the chat like, damn, she making me hungry.
Right.
I started talking about roasting the chicken with potatoes and carrots and cabbage.
Wow. But about the North and the South people, the Southern people don't like the North because it gets cold here. But the Northerners will always go south.
Right, because that's where we're really from.
Besides the inclement weather, the sun is out beaming like a motherfucker. And those of you who are sun worshipers like me, I worship the sun.
I would rather be in the South.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in the South.
Yeah. But we're gonna get it right one day. It's good. We got a lot of genuine people out there pounding the internet while we can, getting it out there because we don't know how long it's gonna be here and in the capacity that it's in now, where we just get to throw you these gems out there like all day, every day if we want to. So eventually we're gonna get too hot for them. So y'all better grab all the shit I can.
Because if y'all think what we done put for the last 6 months down been fire, y'all ain't seen nothing. This gets deeper.
There's so
all
much
you men, y'all started this. See, this is y'all fault. From all of y'all, all the Great Mother waking up, rise of the matriarch, the woman is this, the woman is God. She was listening. I was here. So we got the knowledge for the gods and the goddesses for the platform. This is for everybody across the platform. Okay. Study what I'm talking about. Look it up for yourself. Go out in your yard and study what's growing without being planted. Do you eat that? Do you need that? Study what grows that needs to be planted. Do you eat that? Do you need that? What's the benefits? We got to start being our own scientists.
We definitely finna talk about it because I'm finna get my app on the phone soon as we get off of here. I'm gonna get my app. I'm gonna go outside in the yard and see what kind of weeds we've been just chopping down and shit. I know that,
and that's why I never let nobody cut my yard. The first when the first dandelions come up, I'll let my yard get a foot or two high so that the bees can really get those dandelions. Those are their first foods. The ants, the bees, the flies, all those insects after winter, that dandelion is their first food. We need to stop cutting it down. Let it get a little length. Let the bees come out so they can start feeding their hives.
Damn.
Because there is natural honey in around. I got a few beehives around my crib.
You know what people do when they see a beehive around their crib?
Get rid of it.
There's a spray where you can like just freeze the bees and they just fall down and do that. I seen them.
Yeah, because my parents taught me. Yeah, my parents taught me to use ammonia. They said you want to get rid of the bees, spray that bitch with ammonia. They'll come out that motherfucker. And they was right, but you better get out. You better get out of Dodge. You better get the hell out of Dodge. They gonna come up out of that, but they won't go back in there because you done poisoned it with ammonia. So you can't, because I had a beehive when I was younger. We had a beehive in the bricks. You know, they'll make a brick tunnel in the bricks of your house.
Right.
And you'll have a beehive right in the bricks of your house. Yeah. Or wasp nests or those yellow jackets.
Yeah.
Them nasty little yellow jackets. And, you know, those are genetically modified.
Oh, really?
Those aren't natural to the, yes. Those yellow jackets are not natural to the realm. No, they aren't. Let me tell you something. I have been stung by yellow jackets more than anything, and people be scared of the wasp or the hornets. I've never been stung by no wasp or hornets, and as big as they are, they go about their business unless you're really in their space. I've never been stung by a bee but I've been stung dozens of times by yellow jackets, and I learned not long ago that they were genetically modified, that they were bringing them over from Europe because their GMO food crops killed our natural bees, almost killed our natural bees of this realm because they pesticided them and herbicided them damn near to death. So that's what happened to our honeybees, the Roundup and all this other shit. So that's why I like to come out with this kind of stuff and make people aware. We sometimes cause in the genocide, so we got to be careful.
So the yellow jackets or the bees that's here is not making real honey?
They don't make honey. Everything these people create, they're weapons. Everything humans create is to see if it could be economically viable weapon and weaponized. Economically viable weapon.
Wow.
Because they are vicious, and if they're pointed in the right direction, I'm sure they'll fuck something up bad. That's a weapon. That's economically viable weapon. They're very small. They don't need a lot of housing. They just need a hive. And I know I'm going to sound crazy to people, like, how you go to the bees being an economically viable weapon? Think about it. If those yellow jackets are still around, but our honeybees are dying, then that means they're genetically modified to withstand the genetically modified crops. That means they can eat those crops and not die, right? So that means when they go to, what is that called? When they go from flower to flower, they're passing the pollen of the genetically modified crops around the planet. They're a viably economic weapon. They're not doing exactly what you think they're doing, but they're doing more than enough damage. Yellow jackets. So I'm hoping in the future you and I got us. Yeah, they have, haven't they?
Man.
So I want to do a couple of more lives like these, because we always do, you know, the Bible and stuff, but I want to do more nutrition too.
Right. That's what we need. I done laid enough
real nutrition. And we still got something to go, because you see I'm working on the PowerPoint. I still putting stuff in the Drunk with Blood for the new part.
Right.
I just sent you a couple of the things. So that's all I got time to do. And people be like, damn, girl, what do you do? Study. When my daughter came in my room, my dictionary and books was already in my bed open, because I knew I wanted to do the live and I wanted to get my notes together.
Yeah. Yeah, you
That's
did
all
a
I
great
do.
job. You did a great job on that one.
Oh,
That's
good. I hope
so
everybody.
much information.
Okay, cool. Well, like I say, chat. If anybody in the chat panel ask questions, leave a question. I always watch these videos again. I always do, and I always try to come back and answer any question if possible. The
Right.
goddess does it, and so do I, because we want to know if our students are learning, if we're hitting like-minded individuals and people, so that we can grow.
Absolutely. Salima, as usual, it's been a great hour and a half. Great. I feel good. I feel I got some eureka in there. I'm definitely gonna be rewatching this with my pen and paper. I didn't imagine I was gonna need pen and paper for this, but shit, I like to look at the gems that
I
you gave.
apologize.
No, it's okay. I didn't think it was gonna be this informative, really. I mean, I knew you
Right, because
wasn't
I
coming
wanted
with
to
no
put a
bullshit,
PowerPoint. Right, I thought about a PowerPoint, but it was already on me. Like, let's just get it out. Let's
right?
just get it out.
Right, and yeah, and you know it so well. I mean, why bother with a PowerPoint? You explained everything perfectly. Anybody should be able to get this. We're eating the wrong shit. We're cutting down and getting rid of our real genuine herbs, which is our food.
Mhm.
And that's something we can stop. We can
Yes, we
we can
can.
stop doing that. We can stop doing that. And now I'm more interested in herbs, way more. So I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna get that little herbal app and see if this a weed or what. Can we eat this? Because we know there's gonna come a time where they're gonna try to starve everybody out again. We know that's
We
coming.
gonna need it. You know
That's the
what's coming.
next
That's what
step.
all these zombie apocalypse movies always been about. These niggas
Yep.
don't know shit. We could starve them. Look how they'll do anything. I'm telling you. So this
Yeah.
is us putting out the knowledge. You don't want to be a zombie, Mama Salima, Goddess Yahsinni. We
Yep.
here.
We've already
So
been
Goddess,
changed so many ways.
you got
Thank
that right.
you.
It's time for us to start anew. So I'm gonna get off of here. Gratitude for letting me do the live
Hey,
with you today. And
hey,
we ain't get to our PowerPoint yet, but hopefully, if not today, tomorrow, whenever you want to go in, we could go over it. And because I put some bangers in there, you might
I'm
you
I'm
might be
available.
calling me like, Salima,
Damn. Wow.
Salima, what the fuck is this?
All right. So I got, I went and got me a laptop the other day. All I got to do is convert the
Yes,
operating system to Google. I don't like that. I got a
cool.
little Chromebook. The only reason why I got it is because it was free. And so,
Okay.
I know how to add more SSD memory and all of that shit. But I don't like the operating system. So as soon as I convert that, I'm gonna be outside, catching some sun, looking at weeds, and I'm gonna get up on my herbalism. Watch.
Hmm.
I want to. I want to.
I love
Because
it.
that's how you
I
feel.
You feel better as a person. And then when I got to make my own potions and tonics for my body, my skin, my inside, like anything I make for me is 10 times better than any heart medication. Like they were giving me Metoprolol for my heart and heart attacks, and all I had to do was take hawthorn berries. I ain't never had to plant no hawthorn berries. Do you know that shit grow in the wild? You could just walk up and pick
That,
hawthorn berries and heal your heart.
what?
Like we don't know what's our realm. And that's why that's why that is my saying. We are causality. And you don't know you the heir to the realm and the gold. When they describe gold to our people, we're lost. We think literally gold shining bars. No, baby. The cornucopia of gold of the realm, the cornucopia of the goal of the realm, the healing, keep you healing, healthy, wonderful. Mm-mm.
Wow.
The true gold of the realm is the cornucopia, and the gold is in the cornucopia. That's why I said those everything, even when you pick it, it's really not outside of you. It's you affirming yourself to this realm. everything that you eat that the great mother gives to you from her breast, her organs, is you reaffirming that you are the heir to the realm. Now
Wow.
do that.
I got this tree in the front yard, and it is so intriguing. I can't wait to put the app on it and see what that is, because it's got like pink and lilac little petals, and then it has there's some kind of berry on there with it too. And of course, we've
Hmm.
always taught that berries is poison. Don't pick that. Don't eat that.
A lot
And
more of them is not poisonous than you think you can eat.
I'm gonna find out. I bet you I'm gonna find out. I'm telling you.
Some of them you could cook it, season it, they delicious.
Damn.
We just don't know our realm. And now that I'm losing weight again, it's because my density is lighter because of the way I'm eating. But like I said, once I started living in a food desert, I put it on my webpage and everything that I started eating meat again because I
Mm,
didn't realize at the time that my trust was right up under my feet.
mm, mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna end it like this. We're gonna see.
Okay,
I only put a notice out like an hour or two ahead of time. So, but anyway, as soon as I load up on my channel, they will come. And because they actually didn't want to miss this episode. This is actually jamming more harder than any of the other stuff we did because it's information for us that we need, and we need this right now today. All right. So good job,
right.
Salim. Thanks for gracing my channel. Okay, again with your knowledge and hard work and studies. Now we'll give you back
Gratitude,
to your
gratitude.
family. Peace and blessings.
Yeah, we didn't get it up. Peace
All
and
right.
love, God. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Much harmony.